spoken English as smart classes. You're watching ESESC podcast with our global educators and my shining stars. Learn English swiftly. With there? Yes.
I'm Deepa, giving voice.
I'm Rania.
And here, yes, ma'am, we have Paula ma'am with us. Paula Perez Lopez, ma'am, very first time. So in today's program, absolutely, we'll be finding our simple past tense as we are already done with the simple present. So as you're watching ESCC podcast, so it's time for the conversation. So I'll invite my two shining stars, Deepa and we have Paridhi. They both are going to converse and let us know about simple past tense, how it works. So here we go.
Thank you, ma'am.
Did you watch the movie last night?
Yeah, I watched it. It was really good.
Oh, which one did you see?
Oh, I saw the Avengers. It was an action packed very special fact.
I heard it. Amazing. Who was the favorite character?
Definitely Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr. was a fantasy.
I agree. Such a great character. Did you go alone on this?
No, I went with a group of friends. We had a great time together.
Okay, that's a lot of fun. I will have to watch it.
You should. I will enjoy it. Let me know what you think when you see this movie.
Yeah, sure. I will definitely give you my thoughts. Thanks for recommending.
So as you're watching SCC podcast and it's time for the conclusion as my both of the shining star did an amazing conversation. So let's conclude with our global educators, Paula ma'am. Respected ma'am, over to you.
Well, you know that past is in the past. So whenever you have to practice your English and your past tenses in English, you have to focus on what? On anecdotes, on experiences. So you focus in the past. No connection with the present. And always using these tenses in a communicative way. So the idea is that you can listen to music, to songs in English, you can identify different verbs, regular or irregular verbs, questions or negative sentences, and listen to songs and movies and series. So you can identify that and listen to that and use them in a meaningful way. So in a conversation, telling about your last holidays, telling about stories or imaginary situations, happy moments with friends or family. So using tenses in a meaningful way is going to make your learning tenses easier and funnier. So try to play, try to enjoy learning, and to identify the structures that you have learned.
Perfectly explained, my dear ma'am, and how creatively. I think it is completely understandable by us now. And as you're watching SSC podcast, so after the conclusion, let's recap the vocabulary from the program before it ends. So it's time for the recapping vocabulary, and this time my shining star Irisa is going to recap it. So over to you, my dear Irisa. Here we go.
Nuance. A subtle difference or distinction in expression or sound. It refers to a slight variation or degree of meaning that may not be with Duration. The length of time continues to last. It indicates the case of in which an action can lead to this. Convey. Communicate or express in a way that others understand or comprehend. It involves repeating or delivering information.
Yeah.
Precision. Quality of being exact. It refers to a level of correctness or specific conveying or performing fundamental. Serving as an essential foundation. It describes something that is necessary, fundamental, essential to understanding.
And before the ending the program, we have many comments as usual. As you're watching SCC podcast, it's time for the comments. Thank you so much, Arisa. You did it amazingly. My part, cool. Now here we go with the comments. So we have a new firstly comment to the GSAM alum. I appreciate your hard work and dedication. Thanks a lot. Our Risa has also commented today. So I'm so proud to be the part of the podcast. Thank you, dear ma'am. You're most welcome, my dear. Arvina has commented, those podcasts are very useful for all of us. Thank you, ma'am, for doing wonderful programs like this. Thanks a lot. I will say a special thank you to our global educators. And then next is Swati ma'am writes, many thanks for doing wonderful programs like this, especially this podcast help us a lot of learn new words, vocabularies we are enjoying. And then Kashri Sharma is writing, ma'am, we can learn many things from the podcast and the podcast such amazing. I'm dedicating all the podcasts to Rania ma'am and Paula ma'am today because they are the most important for me today. So Kajal Joria has written, many, many thanks, ma'am. I really need it. Garima writes, your positivity and optimisms are contagious, ma'am. Dinu is writing, it's an amazing podcast. It's helpful for us to us. After watching this podcast, we can deserve the best. Amazing. Jaswinder Kaur is writing, ma'am, your podcast is so fantastic. Your podcast is so helpful for us. I can learn a lot from the podcast. That's so wonderful. Thank you so much. Ayush is writing, ma'am, we always learn something from your podcast. Kindly make it continue. It helps us. So absolutely will continue with many things. You just keep joining us. So sorry, bhai. Okay. What a name. Okay, learning with this one was such a great experience. We always get to know about something new. Thank you for such much, ma'am, for your first. It's such a nice thing learning with you. Okay, you'll not be sorry anymore after this done. Tanisha is writing here, ma'am. I love this podcast that you make. They are very interesting and amazing, entertaining, and supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Here we have Anushka. Anushka is writing, important to understand the different tenses while writing a sentence. You need to know when to use present tense, past tense, or future tense. Can't wait. It's going to be very exciting. Thanks a lot, my dear audience. You really made it wonderful and my shining stars. And special thanks to my global educators and my shining stars for joining us. And that's the end of our today's program. So don't forget to join for more useful vocabularies, sentences, phrases, and learning a lot from my global educators and my shining stars. Knowledge and idioms too. Learn English swiftly.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're most welcome.
For the last 10 years, TEDx speaker Dr. Madhvi Sinch Insa has been educating students. In the contemporary era, children used to entertain themselves with movie songs, but students under her are interested in learning, singing, and rapping educational songs. She has presented education in the best form, where anyone